Okay, first thing, wash all the tiles down. I'm going to put a bead of decorator's cork around the ceiling line to get a nice clean white line so the decorator can get a nice clean edge with his paint. And once that's done, we can then start looking at getting the rest of the units in. Guys, so it's the final day of our bathroom refurb, and today we're going to get all the vanity units in, toilet in, sink in, basically just finish off. We've already gone around and given the tiles another wash and clean to sort that out. Clients asked for clear silicone around the bath, that's fine. We've also now put a bead of decorator's cork all the way around the ceiling just to make it nice and clean, and so they can get a nice clean line when they do their decorating for the ceiling. So without further ado, let's get the toilet vanity plumbed in, and then we'll work on the basin, get the basin on, and then we can get stuck in with all the final bits and pieces. Should be quite an easy day, but famous last words. But anyway, let's get stuck in. Okay, toilet unit. We've already centered the wall, so we just got to cut the bottom of it out to get it around the soil pipe, and cut a little chunk out of the side to get it around the feed pipe for the cistern. And then once that's done, we can then screw that to the wall, and then we can then look at getting our cistern fitted. Just going to have a good tidy up, get that fitted in, make sure we get my cistern in the right place, nice and centered to the unit. Get the little mounting bracket screwed to the wall, which I will also drill through into the brickwork to make sure I've got a nice solid fixing. Have a good tidy up as I go along, keeping the dust to a minimum, because the last thing we want is all dust and stuff into our nice new silicone lines. Cleanliness next to godliness, guys. Okay, so the toilet vanity is fixed to the wall. We cut a little slot out for the pipe to come through. We've cut the bottom out for the waste to come in. As you can see, it's a real tight fit. We've screwed that to the wall. We've centered the cistern. That's the bracket that it sits on. So now we sit the cistern on that. Plumb it in. We've turned the mains off, obviously. Put an isolator on there. Run a flexi into the bottom. Get it all connected. Put the front on. Draw around the toilet. Get our flexi in. I'll show you what to do next. We've got to put the siphon in, and with these ones they literally just in and they just twist, lock in place. And then the hoses get attached to the front cover, which then just clips onto the front there like so. And then your new hoses go from there into the push button. Okay, so we've got that connected on a flexi with an isolator now. We've now centered the toilet. That back panel just lifts out. So we've drawn around the toilet. We've now got to cut that out as much as we can so that we can get the flexi waste on and everything else on. So let's get that done. There you go, there's our isolator, and we've got a nice little curl in our flexi. So all we've got to do now is check our heights to see where the bottom of the pan's going to be, to see if we need to notch that out, and we just got to cut that out as well. Cut into this line, you're cutting inside that line, and you only need to go up and around to allow for our water supply to come through from there and our waste to come through. So our hole cut out. Obviously our outline is good 20mm past that, and 20mm below that is up here's our cut, our maximum line. So now we've done that, we need to work out the flush pipe height, get that cut to height, and then we're good to go. To centre of our water supply there, flush pipe, is 360. So we measure from the floor 360 to the centre of this pipe, and then we just cut off the excess. Now I basically eyeballed it, cut it a bit longer, put it in, and then measured up again and measured the distance. So I cut this longer than I needed because obviously full length was down here, so I pushed it in. I then measured up to the centre of it, which was 330, and I know I need 360, so I need to take an extra 30mm off. So now that is at the right height. So what I've got to do now is measure this length, which is really simple. Okay, to cut the pipe to length, you're going to put the toilet in place. You're then going to measure that distance, which was 170mm. You're then going to measure that back from the front of the pipe. 170mm, then you're going to cut it off, and then that'll be the perfect length. And then we're going to test fit it. We're going to give it a few flushes once we get the water on later on. But yeah, that's how you cut your pipe, guys. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you put your toilet roughly in place, get it in. I've still got my little marks there, so I know it's set. You're going to draw a little line there and a line. You do the same on that side. You can then pull your toilet out. You then measure the thickness here, and you allow that. So you come in that measurement, and then you put your mounting bracket. Okay, we've got our mounting brackets down. Now I know there's no pipes there because the heating pipes go across there. Those pipes go that way, and then the other heating pipes are literally underneath me here, so I'm clear there. So now that that's done, we can lift this off, we can connect to our flexi waste and get that on. We can do some tests, and then this will just slide in afterwards. The advantage of this system is that because this panel will slide in afterwards, I can make sure that my pan connectors are on nicely. I can make sure the flush pipe is in nicely. I can check it for centre, and once I'm happy and I've done my water tests, just slide that panel in down behind it. Happy days. So I'm going to leave that like that for now because I haven't got the water to go on yet. So I've still got the sink vanity to go, but that one's pretty much ready to go. Just need to cut a hole for the flush pipe, which I haven't got yet. There's the flush pipe which is in there. So once I've done all that, I'll cut the flush out, that'll just clip on. Then we do a bit of silicone around it, probably colour match it, a bit of grey, bit of white around the bottom, a few screws in, those screws in, and that's that bit done. So now we can concentrate on here while the water's off, get that unit on, get the isolators on, and then I can test this. For the cabinet, we had to put a very slight kick in our pipes just so we can get our isolators in nicely. So now we can drop that in over the top and get them joined together and screwed to the wall. Happy days. Okay, time to do the unit for the vanity for the basin. First thing we got to do is cut a little notch out for the pipe and then some holes into the bottom so that we can get our pipes up and through. I will have to pull the waste pipe back through the wall so I could get it in, which isn't a major issue. I'm just readjusting the pipe work now just to make sure we've got a little kick in the pipes so that we can get our isolators on. Then once that's gone, just gonna pull that pipe through, then push it back in like that, and then we can then start looking at putting our isolators on. They were a bit tight together, but we did get it in the end. We will all take it for leaks shortly. Here we have it. We've got our pipes in now. We can now trim them, put our isolators on, screw this to the wall. Happy days, we're getting there. Okay, so we've got our two isolators on, our waste is in place. All we've got to do now is drop the basin on and do our final connections there. Tidy it up, put the shelf in. We've got to cut some notches out of the shelf for the pipes, but not worried about that. Okay, it's time to get the basin in. This is a worktop basin, it's all built in. Ricky's already pre-assembled the tap and the waste. We're using Plumber's Mate. I don't like using silicone. I always use Plumber's Mate. It's a lot easier to take it apart afterwards. So here I am. I'm just doing all the final connections, playing around with the waste, trying to get a nice good fitting on the waste. It was a bit tight. It came through the wall a bit higher than I would have liked, but we did get it with a very slight fall, with a bit of a fall in it, sorry. And a little jiggery pokery. I brought two bottle traps with me. One was an adjustable height and one was a shallow one, and the shallow one worked better. So we got a really nice little trap in there. Gave us loads of storage space. I'm just going to cut the little notches into the shelf so that can go in. And then we can throw the doors on. And then we can turn all the water on. Make sure nothing's leaking. And happy days. Another job done. Okay, we just turned the water on. Vicky was checking for leaks. Now he's going to throw the toilet seat on. I'm just turning the water on so we can make sure the system's not leaking. And then once he's out of the way, we can give it a few flushes, make sure that there's no leaks. But yeah, everything's looking nice, guys. Coming along nicely. I've just temporarily connected the button. I've still got the front panel to do. Just slid the panel in behind the toilet and there's no leaks, so happy days. Okay, toilet is working, tested and screwed to the floor. It just needs a bit of clear silicone around it, because that's what the clients are after. So that's tested. Just got to wash the backboard, cut the hole for the flush pipe, flush button, and that clips back on. Basin is up and running. Got a nice little bolt trap under there. Got our connectors. We used some rad tails there. We just stripped the chrome plating back off down to brass, and you can solder brass. Saves you a bit of money when you want to get them on. The isolators are down there, staggered, so they don't interfere with each other. Obviously there's an isolator inside there as well. So next job is a good tidy up. Ricky's already put one of the towel rails on. We've got another one to go there and a mirror to go up there. But we're going to have a good tidy up in here first. And then we've got a clear silicone the bath, clear silicone that, clear silicone that. And that's it, we're done. Then we've got a door stop to put on and rehang the door. So I'm going to give the client a shout to come up and confirm where the mirror's going and where the towel rails, towel holder's going. Door stop's obvious, that's just going to go on the wall, so we're not worried about that. And then yeah, happy days. So I've just realised the drill bit to my arbor for my Bosch hole cutters was snapped, so I've had to shoot out. So I've left Ricky here having a good tidy up, filling the bath up ready for siliconing. Just make sure everything's nice and clean, getting rid of any tools we don't need, lifting up the floor protection, basically getting us ready for the final push of a little bit of silicone and just a general tidy up, and then we can get away from this job and it'll be all done and dusted. So I'm back now with the hole cutters. So I've just cut the hole out outside and I just put the push button in. I'm just checking for leaks again, just double checking everything. Make sure everything's nice and dry, throwing a bead of silicone around. Done the basin already, just making sure that they get a nice clean tidy line around the bath, around the toilet, and drying off and cleaning the floor. Okay, it's official, we are all finished. It's all siliconed, it's all connected, it's all tested, everything is good. So it's all got a clear silicone bead around the bath. We've got the new towel rail holders on. It's all silicone now, it's all clean, that's all clear siliconed, that's all clear siliconed, it's all connected, no leaks, the mirrors are up. We've got the decorator's cork bead ready for the decorator around the ceiling to get a nice clean cut line. But everything, yeah, doors on, door stops on, happy days. So that's another job completed by DC Joinery. So don't forget guys, like, share, follow and subscribe to that YouTube channel. I will see you tomorrow on the kitchen. Bye bye.